This consent form was submitted to the medical fraternity via the medical board in July 2021 by the COVID-19 Transparency Advocacy Group. It is still relevant because, and it is even more relevant now, because we have set a precedent where we are administering a vaccine which is investigational and under emergency use authorization without informed consent. This is a breach of medical ethics, and we suggested that they could kindly adopt an informed consent procedure so that patients could be properly appraised of the nature of the product that they were taking. In this particular document, we discussed how the Pfizer vaccine works. We discussed what approvals have been granted for this product, and we stated categorically that the Pfizer vaccine has been granted emergency use approval. It is not an FDA-approved vaccine. Thousands of children, particular to this document, thousands of children are enrolled in a large-scale international trial which began on the 29th of April 2020 and which is carded for completion on the 8th of February 2024. The trial for the Pfizer vaccine in children is carded for completion on the 8th of February 2024, trial registry NCT 04368728. Both the emergency use approval by the FDA and the emergency use listing by the WHO may be revoked if emerging data raises concerns about the safety and effectiveness of the vaccine. We also, in our document here, which is a consent form, we declared that myocarditis is an issue associated with the vaccine, and as I said, this is a mandatory disclosure. That the vaccine is associated with menstrual disorders like cessation of menses, heavy menses, painful menses, and irregular menses in women, and also associated with neurological disorders like tingling and numbness in the arms, or what you call paresthesia in other parts of the body, and transverse myelitis, which is an inflammation of the spinal cord. And the last time in this conference here, we had a patient who was paralyzed on the left side of their body, a young girl, 26-year-old girl, who suffered transverse myelitis. Another mandatory disclosure and an important fact to be conveyed to patients is, does the Pfizer vaccine protect against variants? The Pfizer vaccine provides limited protection against emerging variants, and recipients of the vaccine can still contract and spread the variants of concern like Omicron and Delta. Just remember that this misinformation or disinformation that you were somehow safe from contracting and spreading COVID-19 was the basis for legislation of institutionalized segregation in Trinidad and Tobago, which barred persons from accessing public spaces under the guise of safe zones. However, symptoms may be milder if your child becomes ill. The vaccine may need reformulation to adequately protect against variants of concern. It is expected, and again, it is expected that your child will require regular boosters at least twice or 3 times a year to maintain immunity. The booster schedule, as indicated by the CDC, is every 5 months, and it is included in this document here. What should I do if I have side effects? You can call 811. We also deal with the issue of vaccine injury compensation. And we put here as a note that the government of Trinidad and Tobago has not disclosed its stance on vaccine injury compensation following, and the following paragraph is aspirational. What is a no-fault vaccine injury compensation program? A no-fault vaccine injury compensation program is an initiative, or it is a federal initiative, and in this case here it should be a Ministry of Health initiative that provides for income replacement, ongoing home care, cost of medical care, punitive damages, and other specific expenses incurred by persons who have suffered serious injury or death caused by certain medications or vaccines, which includes the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. Generally, a claim must be submitted to the no-fault vaccine injury compensation program within 1 year to receive this vaccine, after receiving the vaccine. If you have a suspected injury, you can work together with your healthcare provider to apply for compensation. And lastly, it is important that your consent form always states and always reassures the patient, will I face any repercussions for refusing the vaccine? Meaning that, am I taking a medical product under coercion? Do I have any fear if I decide to exercise my right to refuse, which is enshrined under the Nuremberg Code, which is enshrined in the Patient Charter of Rights and Obligations in Trinidad and Tobago? The decision to vaccinate is voluntary, and you may at any time change your mind or refuse to participate. Refusal to vaccinate will not incur any punishments or penalties to your person, property, human or civil rights, or right to work. If you choose to vaccinate in the future, you will be afforded an opportunity at a later date.